Let's get.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Sketch Biz. My name is Lauren Marshall, and I am joined by the ever so talented Australian comrade, Dean Rankin. Hello, how you doing?
All right. Yeah, good. It's good to be here.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's absolute pleasure to have you on. I really want to showcase a lot more Australian talent. So when I was thinking about a list of who I needed to invite on, you were obviously solidly on there. You're so well known within the Australian community and the convention scene. So obviously, here you are. So we're going to be drawing, we're going to be chatting, all things Dean.
Yes.
And I stupidly suggested a character that I was thinking of a completely different one. I suggested Swamp Thing when really I was thinking about Creature from the Black Lagoon. Silly me. Too many deadlines
And
trying to keep me
they're
busy.
pretty close anyway, I reckon.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing was I wanted something super slimy to draw, which is, I just love it. So you're going to be drawing, Swamp Thing. I'm going to draw Slimy.
I'm going to be drawing Swamp Thing. I got some reference. I'm drawing Swamp Thing. I like he's got these like a nose that comes into jowls over the side. I don't know if I've ever actually drawn Swamp Thing before. I can't remember. But yeah, he's going to be fun.
He's pretty cool. Really good, interesting shapes, I think. So yeah.
I agree.
Dean's going to be jumping behind his desk, so we
won't
see his beautiful face.
I'm going to jump because I have it. I'm not really set up for streaming, but I have a desk next to me.
Look, we make it work however we can.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay from here?
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, okay.
God, I got to think of a pose. How do you start? How do you start doing your?
I like to draw in pink or blue. Yeah, I'm going to make my pencil a little bit bigger. How do I start? I think probably just this is going to be his head. If people are watching and not familiar with my style, look out. I've got some. I'm very cartoony.
Okay, so tell me, Dean, a little bit about your background. Obviously, you've got this amazing list of credentials against your name, Guinness World Records, the amount of people that you've worked with, some very, very prolific titles.
So I guess for people who don't know me, I'm a comic book artist and writer and illustrator from Melbourne, Australia. And I'm very cartoony. I've always drawn very cartoony. And so I worked on Simpsons comics, Futurama. I did some stuff for Rick and Morty, Invader Zim, Oggy and the Cockroaches. Scotty Young's I Hate Fairyland. And I illustrate books as well. I've been doing these a book series called Death Metal Emo Elves, which is about elves that learn how to rock. And I've been drawing the kind of like a Where's Wally kind of thing. Like, can you find the Easter Bunny? Can you find the piggies? And can you find Santa's elves? Which it's been good. It's been good.
So you've worked on The Simpsons, which is just incredible. When you first started that, was that kind of like a big pinch me moment that you had?
Yeah, absolutely. It was. I remember I had one like with like 2 pages. I thought, oh, how cool! Like I've worked on The Simpsons, and that's really cool. But what if that's it? What if like if I only get like 2 pages? Like does that count? It's so, and what is success? It really made me like feel like if I hadn't got that, would I still be successful? Like I'd been drawing for years, and so much of what we do is out of our control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of like you put yourself out there and you do your best and you work on your craft, but at some stage it's out of your control. It's like that, that AA mantra about looking after your side of the street. That you be brave and you try to get better, but at some stage you kind of like, I guess you need to have someone like a sponsor or something, someone on the other side who sees something within you and that they're willing to take a risk on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I was 38 before I got Simpsons, so I'd worked on I've been going for years and on books, but no one ever heard of what I do like about what's been really good about The Simpsons is it not necessarily didn't open doors as such, but what it does do is it gives you a kind of a
It
legitimacy
comes with a
that if
title,
you
right?
worked on something like that, people assume yeah, like, people assume that you know what you're doing. You
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean? That, it's kind of a great it's that kind of like a I don't know, that cracks the door open a little bit, and they might at least have a s a listen to what you have to say, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like a confidence thing.
But yeah, so, Simpsons has been, fantastic, and it's the comic's finished now, and I would have just happily done it forever if I
Yeah.
could.
It's definitely your vibe. And, I had the same conversation with Camillo when he came on here. And going back to your thing about, having someone on your side or having that trust and people seeing something in you. I think that's both you and him share something similar, like the way that you make friendships and conversation and creating those meaningful relationships with these people. And I think and I said that was a huge testament to him as well. But it does pay off, like being able to talk to people and advocate for yourself. Huge thing for the comic book industry because you really do need to advocate for yourself. It's not easy otherwise. And you just got to, do you think it's like partially acting or something?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. I think because you don't wanna be mercenary about that stuff as well. You wanna be like, I like to I wanna be genuine, and I don't wanna be like every conversation with someone
Yeah.
isn't necessarily about my work and that you should like, "Oh, have you checked out my Kickstarter?" That kind of thing, because that
Yeah.
drives me
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's a kind of about being genuine and I guess when it comes to like the comics kind of industry, where does friendship end and networking start, and vice versa? If you know what I mean. That this looks ridiculous. That again, I want to have I want to try to have like some meaningful relationships with people, and not just act like a used car salesman. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
100%.
and, I guess your question about acting, I think that's really interesting because, say, like at a convention, I'm being myself, but I'm being a bigger version of myself. That
Yeah.
I'm
Pump yourself
probably,
up.
I listen more, you know, at a convention than I do because I'm normally pretty vague, and I'm often like, in my own head thinking about other stuff.
Yeah.
But, so I think you can, yeah, I think one of the reasons why I find convention so draining is because it's you're kind of you're kind of
Putting on a
on.
face.
Yeah, well, yeah. Again, I didn't want to put like I don't
Putting
want
on
to
your best face, not a fake
put
one,
my
but your best
best face
face.
maybe. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, because it's really important to me that I don't want to. Oh, Dean's like this at a convention, but he's not like this out of that. If you know what I mean. It's just I find them hard that I have to try to remember people's names. You
Yeah.
have to. I'm trying to and draw and not mess my drawing up like I'm doing now. I don't think Swamp Thing should have ears. I think he looks ridiculous with ears. I'm de-earing him.
Nah, that totally makes sense. Especially the name thing. Like, as soon as someone tells me their name, it's completely gone. Like, immediately forgotten.
It's got yeah, yeah, and people think I'm really friendly at conventions, and I think because I'm just friendly to everybody just in case I know them. I'm supposed to, like, "Oh, I've never met you before." "Oh, yeah, great, great." Because, yeah, it's a thing. And it's interesting with the cons. I'm trying to do probably less now than I have in the past, but you kind
Mm,
of everyone has to find their like we're like carny folk, I reckon. Everybody has to find their I don't know, their trick to be interesting, if you know what I mean. I don't particularly enjoy doing commissions.
yeah,
I would love to just be able to just sit there and sell comics and not have to draw at the same time. But I'm not good enough when it comes to like prints and things like that as well, that I could just sort of sit back and just let that happen, if you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah. I think I was over at Royd's place because I went over and filmed his art collection, and he made a good point about
Wow.
you. I don't know how he got onto the subject. I think it was about like commissions and stuff or whatever. And he said you have the best trick for doing commissions, and it's kind of like your signature is when you do someone's floating head, like the Simpsons. Or is it
Oh,
Simpsons
oh
or is
yeah,
it something else? The floating head in
the
the
head in a
jar.
jar. Oh yeah, the
Mm,
Futurama. Oh
mm.
yeah, I draw like people's heads in jars
Futurama, that's
like
right.
Futurama. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And that's smart because it removes like thinking about it.
removes the thinking about it. So what do you
Mm.
mean by
As
that?
in, like, because when someone comes to me and they go, can you do me a commission? And sometimes they'll come up with ideas and whatever, but you like
Oh,
offering
yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
not a stock standard, but like something that you just know, and then it's easy, and you know that you can do it at the shows, because let's be honest, drawing at shows is not for everybody. It is quite hard work.
Yeah, and you can do it in a certain amount of time.
Mm,
That's why I like doing those. Actually, quite. I mean, I don't want to mess them up, but if I have to do anything, that's the thing I like to do, because I feel that um, you're making a connection with the person. You're kind of churning them out. I still need like charge $50. I'm not making a huge amount of money from them, but I feel like people like them still, you know. But yeah. So yeah,
yeah. And it's also giving people that sense of affordability as well.
well, yeah, this is it. Like, I don't, you know, um, again, it's about that finding that space, isn't it? Like, I feel that, in fact, everything that I do is about finding where I fit, within it, because I'm not a high end commission person. Like, I don't accept big commissions. I don't accept, big color things or anything like that. It's, as you well know, that drawing at a convention is really tricky. You've got people, I don't know, they're talking to you, and um, I don't know, yeah, knocking the table. It's not like it's not like it's an easy place to work. It's not like a studio, for instance.
Mm,
But yeah, about trying to find your place, I guess, and in comics as well, once again, I'm really cartoony. I couldn't draw Batman to save myself. So that means that puts limits on what I feel I can, areas that I can work in. So I have to be like sort of really like strategic about, okay, so Rick and Morty, yes, I can draw Rick and Morty. So I'm going to focus on that particular publisher to try and get work from them. I'm not, it would be silly of me to keep sending stuff to the big two when I just don't draw like that.
mm, hmm And that's not to say that you haven't received some really good gigs. Like I Hate Fairyland. You're the second person who's been on the show that has done stuff for I Hate Fairyland. And it's just you're so fitting for that. It's like I
Oh,
said,
that
it's like a
was
signature for
great.
you.
So it was funny with like I Hate Fairyland. How it came about was I got a Facebook message from Scotty Young. Shit, Scotty Young. Oh, like a Facebook request. Shit, that's really cool.
Very cool.
And and then he asked me if I was interested in doing a pinup, and I said absolutely yes. And I think he was just kind of testing me out to see if I was, you know, okay. And
Mm,
he then offered me to do a fill-in comic, like issue 13. So, which I did, and it was great. And then offered me some. He did a thing called the Further Tales of I Hate Fairyland, where he
mm,
invited some people to contribute stories like set in that world, which was just so great. Such a, he's like I've never spoken to him in person, but he was just such a good person to work for. He's a great writer, so yeah.
yeah,
So
definitely.
that was really cool.
He understands what it's like to be an artist as well, and I think that's maybe where maybe sometimes where a writer can get it wrong. Not wrong. Wrong's probably not the right word, but it just allows that
I don't know.
freedom a little bit.
I've had some wrong in my time. Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing some when I have been able to do some like writing for the Phantom, some short stories and stuff like that, and that's been really nice. And I think because I'm an illustrator, former writer, I'm
Mm,
not feeling I'm not filling every like inch of the panel with, I don't know, I'm not putting too much in thinking about the story, how it's going to flow from a visual perspective.
mm,
So yeah, I think there is something to say about that. Even with writers, starting off writing, I encourage them to go like, just, I don't know, even if you're just doing stick figures, that's fine, but
mm,
to block out what how the story works from a visual
yeah,
perspective,
yeah,
because I think that's really important, and you'll learn a lot about the process.
yeah. Do you find that writing comes naturally, or like is art obviously easier, or what do you
Yeah,
think?
I mean, art is my language.
Hmm.
Drawing is my language. I as a kid, I kind of had a speech impediment. I talked funny. I still talk kind of funny now, particularly if I've had a few drinks or if I'm
I
really
think that happens
tired,
for everybody, I think.
then my pronunciation goes out the window. It's one of those things I have to concentrate on.
Yeah.
But by I just found by illustrating is just very much my my way of communicating.
Hmm.
But I'm saying that I quite like to write. I because particularly in Australia, as well as you well know, there's not it's not really an industry as such.
No.
There's like it's a lot of enthusiastic people about the art form, but not necessarily what I consider it an industry. So you kind of in this country you have to kind of do everything, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's had a had a bash at lettering, and everyone's had a bash at writing because you have to, you just there's no one else kind of you're doing it a lot solo.
Yeah.
That you have to kind of you know work things out as you go along. So writing, I don't know, writing for me just feels like this kind of part of the go, just part of the
Yeah.
the
Cool.
of the art form, really.
Yeah. Have you had any writers that you didn't get along with? Because obviously, like I said, you've got this huge, huge list of things that you've done.
Yeah, yeah, and absolutely. I look at my list of like credits and you go, oh wow, it's amazing. But then I often think about, oh wow, I got paid really badly for that, or I got this
Mm,
deadline for that was horrendous, and spend all the time trying to make this thing work in any way, shape, or form. So
mm,
absolutely, I think I don't know if you haven't had that, you haven't lived in some ways. You haven't, get.
yeah. Yeah.
You might have to edit this out, but I like this analogy. When you get, when you're pregnant, everyone says congratulations, but nobody asks how many times you got fucked. And I think that, I think that and I
It's a
just think
perfect
for
analogy,
me,
though.
like, you go, yeah, yeah, because you look at, like I said, there's my bio, and you go, wow, that's incredible. And it is, but also like,
Yeah.
it's a hard journey, and you get screwed over, and
Very.
you don't get enough work to live on. And, there's all this stuff that comes along with trying to survive as a creative. And I think if you have like anything, if you've got any credit, you've done something amazing, because a lot of people just tick along, and you don't get anywhere. And that's not necessarily about the person or their art. I think that there are so many factors at play
Yeah.
that affect your ability to quote unquote succeed, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
And you mentioned something about like luck and stuff. And I mean, it is kind of right place, right time, and the connections that you made. I think that's why I went to that initial conversation about the connections that you make with people and the relationships. And it does pay back. It really does. And you can tell the quiet artists, they sometimes don't get those.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I try to be genuine. I try not to be an asshole. There's, obviously there's people that you have a closer affinity to in a scene, or you don't
Mm,
necessarily like some people. I try not to hassle anybody. I try not to, make waves, and I generally want people to do okay. So yeah, yeah. I don't know what the answer is. I
mm.
think that try not to be an asshole is kind of part of it.
I think that applies to a lot of people, to be honest. So tell me about the authors that you've worked for, because the Australian kids scene, like the like kids books and stuff like that, like Magda Sabansky, like I just remember her from doing her comedy when I was much, much younger.
She was great. So I worked with Magda Zabansky on the Timmy the TikTok Pony series. I worked with Adrian Beck on the Brock the Croc series. I've done some anthology stuff, like Andrew Daddo wrote a thing that I drew some stuff in. A guy
Very
named
cool.
P. Crumble. I did a series called "A Funny Thing Happened to Simon Sidebottom" with him and some picture books. And so that's been really really great. And so probably from about like last year, I've started writing my own books. Yeah, I have
Very cool.
the kids book series, which makes no money. The Death Metal Emo Owls. The Can You Find books, they do okay. So
Mm.
they've been really great. if we have a chance, I'll show you on the screen later on what they look like. But yeah, so they're like just really sort of complicated images, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Again, like a Where's Wally kind of book.
Yeah. I think that's how I actually found you. When I first stumbled across your work was the Itty Bitty Buddies. And I was in love. I love chaos.
Yeah, it was Itty Bitty Bunnies in Rainbow Pixie Candyland. That was a series I did with Action Lab, and I wrote and drew those. I won a Ledger Award for those, which was nice.
Which is awesome.
I'm just going to make my Swamp Thing be. I think I finished penciling. I'm going to do some inks and some colors on him.
Very cool. You work so quick. It's just incredible to watch.
Well, it's cartoony, so I can knock them out pretty quick.
Yeah. It doesn't mean it's still easy.
I've got better over time, but how I draw is very much like a organic inside out kind of.
Yeah.
This is how I operate it as a. You'll see my insides in an outside kind of way, if you know what I mean. I think that's kind of art in general. I think that's why art is so kind of scary. We're cracking open our sternums and showing a little bit of inside us, and when people don't like it, like what we've done, it's pretty. That's hard.
Yeah. It could be really hard.
Hard to go, but I mean, it's like, oh my God, they don't really like me, which I'm sure, isn't actually true. That just feels like it.
Now, you work primarily digitally, and that's obviously does that work quite well for deadlines and stuff? And it obviously just flows better for you?
Yeah, I'm completely. It's only at conventions that I'm kind of. I'm not now, but I'm completely digital. It's just I don't know how people you get tight deadlines. You'll get so many changes. I've drawn like 100 rabbits on a page without. That's not exaggeration. This is like easy on these Can You Find book, and then I have to move things around, and to do that traditionally, it's just like nightmare fuel. Yeah, so I think so. That's the I moved house about 4 years ago. I was like, I don't think I need my drawing desk anymore. So I got rid of it, and I'll draw traditionally at conventions. But I'm not a big fan of inking. You know how some people go, say like Scotty Young or something. You see his work, it's the inks are the thing that kind of makes it. I feel like I don't know. I could never get a pen that I like. Everything feels kind of
Trial and
funky.
error.
Yeah. So I had that if I mess up a line now, I can just go Control Z and change it. It's been a real game changer for me actually to move to digital. I'm very happy about it.
Well, I find that my work looks completely different when I'm drawing digitally. Like it just looks
You do kind of. It's
ever so slightly.
I think that's kind of the I guess the danger as well, that you start to modify for the the program as such.
And I find a lot of people use, the stabilization features or, the tricks and the different
Yeah,
brushes and stuff like
I
that.
don't do that. I find that I think something like that is kind. Yeah, I think stabilization. You kind of. I think then you're not drawing it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not dissing anybody to however people get by. As long as it's not AI, I think they're still you're doing
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, I don't use that kind of stuff. I'm just if I mess up, it's all me.
Yeah. Yeah. Should always, I'm a huge advocate for just trying to, if you're doing digital draw like you normally would, and
Yeah,
try not to
yeah,
do your hyper zoom in, because half the time that stuff's not even going to be in print,
yeah. Well, in saying that, I've been doing these Can You Find books, and God, you kind of you have to you're zooming in really low. So yeah, I'm sure there's some traditionalists out there who go, oh my God, I can't believe Dean Rankin's doing this, but I don't care.
Nah, if it works for you, and that's how you create your art.
Yeah.
I was thinking about one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, and I know how passionate you are about it, and it's I admire it and how steadfast you are about it, and that is the fact of not using AI and being very vocal about it and I
Yeah,
always wonder,
yeah.
like, am I gonna ruffle feathers? And I know it's wrong. Like, I know it's obviously wrong. And obviously, why would you want to take away creativity from people? And yeah, like, do you ever find it's a struggle to try and convince people, like, as an artist, coming from that
I
perspective?
that's all, like, I know there's a recent yesterday, there was a a comic writer I saw was doing, I don't know, using it to change their face on social media, and I just it
Yeah,
breaks my heart. And I've lost friends over it. People like, I've had people who, like, are just like, I was at a con in Gold Coast, and the person just absolutely, just like, they saw me and just dead-eyed me and walked away. Go, okay.
mm, all right.
So I don't think I'm convincing, like, I don't know, anybody of anything really. I just um it, I find it heartbreaking.
Mm,
I don't, I think I'm still preaching to the choir when I talk about, what AI is doing to artists.
mm,
When I so yeah, when I was when I was a kid, just drawing was so important to me, and
yeah,
I feel that AI is taking that opportunity away. Art has given me all these amazing opportunities and has taken me out of myself. Like, I was just so shy and anxious, and art gave me this kind of a voice.
yeah. And these
And
damn robots are
um,
taking it away.
for that to be taken away, and like I'm gonna be okay, right? I've worked really hard. I can't imagine, suddenly not having work, and because particularly how I draw as well.
Mm.
I'm not sure why you'd want AI to do what I do, but I deeply worry about the future.
And that's also to say, like, you put a lot of humor into your work. Like, you have this very slapstick sort of, like, just this, I don't know, you've just got this little sparkle that you put into your work and you make it fun. Especially, like, looking at what you're doing now, nipples right in my face. Like, this
Yeah,
is and that's what draws people. You can't, like, a computer. I'm sorry, a computer could try very hard to have a personality, but they're just
yeah.
not going to have that kind of, like, oh no, no, no. So, is there anything exciting on the horizon for you?
There's a thing, but I can't talk about it.
Ooh, I like those things.
Yeah, exciting. Um, but I'm finding it really exciting, and to see what that's going to change for me.
So it's a good like a real big exciting. That's epic.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I can't talk about it. Which I know
Isn't it
I'm not
frustrating
trying
when
to
you
be.
have to, like, you sign this NDA?
Yeah, yeah, and it's go, oh, this is really cool. I'll talk to you about it later on, but I can't do it on air. Uh,
Yeah, that's for in the know.
so I've got some cool stuff. I've got some Christmas Elves book just came out. Can you find Santa's elves through
Very
Scholastic?
cool.
And I'm doing there's a new Can You Find the Easter Bunny book which will come out next year. And yeah, that's got it. Right now I don't have much work. Right now I'm not doing anything.
Mm,
I'm just doing yeah, I'm drawing anyway, just drawing every day for fun.
yeah,
I have been going so hard for so long.
yeah,
Like drawing every day, every single day for so long,
yeah.
that it's kind of nice to go, oh, I don't really have too much on right now. Um, just for my own, I don't know, mental
Sanity?
health. I think it's
Yeah,
probably good to stop occasionally,
yeah.
doing so many veins. Yeah.
I'm kind of stuck in that predicament at the moment. Like, I went a couple of months with absolutely, well, not absolutely nothing, like, had little dribs and drabs here. And all of a sudden I'm just getting, like, all these emails from all these people, and they're not like small gigs, they're really cool opportunities. And
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't
yeah.
say no. And then it just keeps, like fun, like, what do you call it? Bottlenecking. I just,
Yeah.
like, I have to check myself sometimes. I'm like, Lauren, you still have all this stuff you need to do outside of work. This can't
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. It's hard to say no. And I think this is the kind of it's that feast or famine kind of
Mm,
mentality that, like, I have issues saying no, because if I say no to this, is
it's never
that,
gonna come again. Yeah, yeah.
is at the end of me,
Mm,
and I think that I think I need to look at that kind of stuff because I think it's really so much of my self-esteem is caught up in what I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's like dangerous. I think that um you want to you just want to remind yourself that it's not just about producing work.
Yeah.
My value is more than what I do on a on a daily basis. My value is intrinsically as a person. Now that's really easy for me to say that, but, but I don't, but I don't really believe that. I think
Yeah.
the
And it's like you said, it's something that sort of saved you when you were younger. So yeah, it's hard for you to be able to
yeah,
separate
yeah,
that from worth when it was something that gave you so much worth.
yeah. So now it's going to be interesting because I'm not going to be able to do it forever. And as I get
Mm.
older, which I'm still young, I'm still not pro. But how then do I find myself? What do I do? Because I don't do anything for fun. Really,
Mm,
like
mm.
I this is what I if we weren't recording this, I'd still be doing this. Um, so how do I then? I don't know. Move? How do I move on? Because
How do you feed your
we're
soul a
not
little
going
bit?
to be, yeah, none of us are going to be able to do it forever, you know.
Hmm.
Or maybe I don't. Maybe I just keep on drawing till I die.
Yeah, I think that's going to be most of us.
It gives me joy as such. That's not related to producing work to draw,
Yeah.
which is really awful to say, but
Oh, I don't know about awful. I think it just means that you found what you really love and what really is for you, And
yeah, yeah,
people go through their
maybe,
whole
yeah.
life and not finding that, right?
Yeah, well, this is it. Like, I found my thing very at a kind of young age. I thought this is all I want to do is this. All I want to do is draw. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's I don't know. This is it could be drugs. It could be in drugs. So this is better. It's better than drugs.
Freehanding a circle.
God, awesome.
I did have like a compass here
Good
somewhere,
luck.
but whatever. I'm just gonna freehand this. Oh god, it's the moon. It's the moon. So it's okay. I can make it a little bit janky. And that pumpkin, the Guinness. I was meant to talk to you about that. The Guinness Book of Records. Tell me a bit more about that, but also the idea.
I can't remember the person's name who did it. It wasn't even me. It was so I'm in the Guinness Book of Records, or there's like, lots of people are right. So there were
Mm,
two projects. One was the Guinness World Record for the amount of contributors to a comic, and the other one was the amount of contributors
hmm.
to a graphic novel. And I was just a small person in those, but I feel like it's valid to put on my bio that okay, I was one of those people,
Yeah,
and it sounds cool that you're
such a cool
part of a
concept.
world record for anything. Yeah, yeah. So
Mm,
and I think I did the cover for one of the pumpkin ones, and just like a little thing for the part of a crowd scene or something for the other. But so yeah, it's kind of cool. So a
mm.
couple of part of a couple of records. I have a Ledger Award and I think three Stanley Awards, which is the Australian Cartoonists Association thing.
Just casually.
Yeah, well, it's nice. It's nice. And again, yeah, I think you got to be careful with bios. I don't know. My bios are, oh my God, this guy's like done all this stuff. It's amazing. But then, but yeah, it's because it's, I mean, you do kind of like, it's your own press that you're writing. Again, not, it's all true, but it, just make it sounds better
That's
than
it.
actually. Sometimes it is.
No, if you got it, flaunt it.
But again, yeah, if you're anything, particularly in this country, you've done anything. Oh my God. It's rugged out there on the streets, I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
How's my time doing? Can I add some color in this to this? Is that okay?
Yeah, we got what, 10 minutes or so until usually I wrap things up. Try to keep within that time frame.
Okay. 10 minutes. Okay. I don't know. Something's happening with my line for some reason.
You got this. You got it. was gonna try and color mine, but it's not happening. I'm just gonna stick with tones. What do you prefer? Do you prefer doing the kid stuff, or do you like doing something that's a little bit more, serious/adulty?
More adult. I don't know. I mean, in honestly, like, you
Yeah.
like, when I'm writing my own stuff, I don't tend to I don't know, I don't tend to dumb it down. Like,
Mm.
besides my kids' stuff is just something that I would write just for an adult, as long as it's, just avoid, sex and violence. If you
Mhm.
know what I mean? I just, yeah, just draw it how I want to draw it, and write it how I wanted to write it in lots of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm happy to do both. I think it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's all valid storytelling. I don't know why. If I haven't drawn him before, I don't know why I haven't drawn him before because he's so much fun. I think because of it's probably avoided because of all the detail that's in his little
He looks so good. Oh,
body.
the swampy belly button.
Little swampy, yeah, yeah.
Is there a character that's, like, on your wish list that you would love to get your hands on?
Yeah, I've been trying to get Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
um, and it just hasn't happened. Um, which which is fine. I've done some really, I've done some really cool stuff, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I've been close
Mm.
a couple of times, which is the hard thing. You go, oh, nearly got
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And, I've got, hey, if there's any listen, I've got a cover, a Ninja Turtle cover, just sitting there waiting to be used by someone. It's been approved. The pencils were approved by IDW. I just need a store or someone to go for it because
Yeah.
yeah,
It was a store
it was
variant, was it?
yeah, it was approved, but then they had money issues. So yeah. So dear
That's
listener,
frustrating.
if you're up for yeah, this can't. I was going to say this can't be interesting for people to watch, but it's actually I think I actually quite like watching
Oh, they
people
love it.
draw.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, one of the feedback that we got was, they much prefer seeing us.
Really, even though you felt like you're not speaking for minutes on end, as you try to focus on what you're doing. That's still better.
Yeah. That's why whenever I ask someone to come on, and it's not for everybody, not everybody can do the chat and draw at the same time. It can be quite tricky, and you do have to find that it comes quite naturally. I always say to them, like, if you don't want to do it, that's fine. We'll just chat. But
Have a chat. Yeah,
most
yeah.
of the time, people are quite happy to do it.
Was I was gonna say I was nervous about coming on, but I'm always nervous about everything I do.
Yeah.
Like, you go, I'm a little bit scared. I'm always a little bit scared, but I do my I do my scary thing anyway. I think that's kind of my state of being.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like I've gotten better with time, just knowing that it's just going to be part of the career.
yeah, and you have to be kind of like, okay, well, you have to go, okay, well, this isn't, I'd like to change this or this, but you have to be able to go, okay, I've got to move on. And I think the thing is like I don't know, when you're working in comic pages and stuff like that, you
Hmm.
go, I've got a deadline. Like I've got another page, I've got another
Yep.
panel to do. So you kind of got to be a bit philosophical about it and keep moving forward. I've had this thing at the moment that I've been doing since I started. I was really nervous about starting the Rick and Morty one last year, and so what
Mm.
I would do is like I thumbnail it all out, but then I would go, okay, now I know where all the characters will be standing, so I'm just going to draw Rick, and I would draw Rick
Yeah.
in every pose that he was supposed to do throughout, like, and draw all the Ricks, Rick. So so it's kind of like um just a little thing to you, like a mind trick. Oh, I'm just drawing Rick. You can draw Rick. So today I'm drawing like Rick, and I like draw Rick
Yeah.
60 times or something. And then I go, I'm going to draw Morty. Go Morty, and go through and do a
That's a
summer,
smart way to
and all
do it.
that. Then all the then I'm adding backgrounds, and you might have to come back and change some, bits and pieces. Because after you've drawn Rick, 60 times, you go back and the first time you draw him, it's a bit average. Then
He
I
evolves.
and then when I ink, now I will just ink like one panel on one page, like maybe the last page, and work backwards and just like one panel, one panel, one panel.
Hmm.
So my theory is then if I'm having a bad day of inking, then you might just, might like those panels may not be great, but on a whole, the whole thing should look okay. By the time I get, because the next day I might be inking okay again.
Yeah, yeah. That's such a smart way of thinking about it.
Trying to think the first time we met, was it must have been a convention or something. We don't really like we chat a little bit. It was like, I saw like it's like, oh, I'm here in Perth. Say hi, that kind of thing. But I think it must have been
Yeah,
like
I think it
been
was a
over and off.
convention. I started conventions, what, like 2012 or something. And I was just
Yeah,
going around just selling prints. Like I was a print jockey back then. And then I
yeah.
sort of stepped back for a little bit and was like, no, I better actually do comics if I'm going to do comics. And then I came back, and I think that's when I started making some more connections with people who are already established, which is one of you guys. Well, you're one of them, obviously.
Because I think
Yeah,
you shared the studio with John and Dave, didn't you? Is that right? Did you share a studio with Dave and John? Or am
yeah.
I making that up?
Short while, and then the lease ran up, or I think the guy who owned it wanted it back. John Pitchy and Dave were all in there. It was the Bat Cave, is what they called it. Yeah, I was living there for a little bit, short stint, and then I got homesick and had to come home.
Yeah, I get that. I think I when I left school, I did a TAFE course at I grew up in a sort of beach town
Mm,
in the suburbs, and when I was looking at sort of maybe doing animation or something like that in the city, I thought I just can't
mm,
do it. I didn't want to leave home. I didn't like it just seemed too hard. Um, so I had gone back and done some storyboarding and animation later in life, which I didn't really like anyway. But um, I
yeah.
but yeah, I feel like I don't know. It's one of those. Oh, maybe if I'd taken that opportunity, things would have been different. But I'm happy with the choices I've made. I do,
Mm,
I'm very much a solo kind of worker. I do like to just be in my studio by myself working as opposed to part of a big team.
yeah, yeah, yeah. God, I feel like since starting this podcast, it's every time we come across, we're like, well, what did you want to start out with? Most of us are just saying animation. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to draw somehow, and you go, oh well, I want to draw. How do I make
Mm,
money drawing? And you go, well, animation just kind of seems to be the thing. I always like animated cartoons have been a big influence on me.
mm-hmm.
So
Same.
yeah, and it just seemed hard, but then like just drawing by yourself seems easy. So I can just do that myself.
I can be in my own space.
Now, even this can't be what I'm doing now cannot be interesting to anyone. I'm just going around because I'm going to fill this space up with a color. And
It's like ASMR, just like the inking process. People love
yeah,
it.
maybe. Yeah, I should go. Oh, slower. Do it slower. Draw slower. Yeah, baby.
Speak slower.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. See all these little mistakes that I would normally be fixing, but there's no time for that
It's your warm up
because
for
we're
the day.
drawing foliage.
What's your typical workday look like? Do you chop and change, or do you actually set yourself like a time?
Yeah, yeah. So I draw every day, but sometimes it's pretty late by the time I get into it. I I generally I'll
Mhm,
try to go to the gym, take my kid to school, go to the gym. Um, I've got all these little back
mhm.
stuff and neck stuff, little injuries, shoulder stuff. So I feel like I need to do that. Normally I'll get into the studio about 10:30, 11, and in but
Mhm.
yeah, my theory for making up for it is that I'll work every day. Like I will work Saturdays and Sundays and stuff like that. It depends on depends on the how tight the deadline is as well. If if it's just kicking along, I'll just
Yeah, that's it.
go for a few hours. Um, try to take breaks. It depends and how I'm feeling. Um, I work
Yeah.
3 evenings a week so it's an outreach needle and syringe program, and
I was going to ask if you're still doing that.
yeah, yeah, and so yeah, I've done that for 25 years, and yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it's it's good work. It's important.
Yeah, very you.
Okay, I'm gonna do some quicker stuff so I can get some stuff done here. It's just gonna be quick, 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 quick. So yeah, yeah, I like that. Yeah, and then so yeah, to just keep plugging away. If I'm struggling to get in the zone, I know John Samariva does this well, like that Pomodoro technique, that you set an alarm, and you have to, and you just keep going, and
Yeah,
through the alarm, and try not to get distracted.
yeah. That's a big struggle, especially with
Um,
like your phone. Try and put your phone away to like somewhere in a different room or something, unless you need it. But like that thing is just so bloody distracting to me.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I struggle with that stuff. But yeah, so look, I'm actually pretty good. I don't tend to, if I've got a deadline, I just keep plugging away.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I need to manage my time a little bit better for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know, like, if I actually mapped out how much time I actually spend on social media and not drawing, I think I'd be a little bit
Mm,
horrified. But I've I could never missed a deadline, so I'm doing
yeah,
something right,
that's it. Yeah, I can feel when I've got like, especially was the past week or 2 weeks, when I have had these like quite tight deadlines, and they are tighter because we're going away next month. And so I could just
Yeah,
see that it's affecting other parts. Like this, my daughter's just like, she's, bless her, she's a teenager, but she's like, she gets angry with me because she knows I'm not as present as I should be. And
you should
I
be,
can't
yeah,
really, I
yeah.
can't control that, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know if history will, like, I don't know, like, I'll be judged by not spending enough time with my kids because I'm drawing, but I have a pretty good
Mm,
relationship with them, so
yeah. I think when they get older, they appreciate that you like put your best foot forward and we're doing something that you absolutely love. I think that will be resonate with them when they get older.
yeah. That's it. You have that relationship that you build on.
Mm,
How we doing for time? How we doing for
okay.
time? I want to.
We're
We
at
doing okay?
104 now, so, and I'm just going to do a couple of bits with a grey pen, and I think I'm done.
Mm, not ready. I'm not ready.
Oh, that was too dark. Whoops. Okay, let's go with this one. Yeah, that's better.
Can I have 2 more minutes? We can fill 2 more minutes, can we?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, dude, can go as long as you like. I can cut back whatever we need. I say we do like an hour, hour and a half, but like I always push it. Okay, and then do I do splatter?
You should definitely do a splatter. Not because I really want more time, but I believe in you.
Come on, okay. It's gonna get messy. It's gonna get messy.
Yay!
What? I got what? I keep raiding Lockie's Warhammer paints. He's got like this white primer that I just need to get through because it's a giant bottle, like it's a huge bottle. And I use that for my splatter and stuff because it's quite thin, but it's still quite opaque for what it is. Dish. Where's my little dish? Okay. Do the old toothbrush trick. All right. See if this actually goes black. 'Cause it's got some black ink in this. And see, I'm a person that doesn't really like mask any of my work, and so I end up just covered in paint. So I actually have to wear like proper clothes, like my work clothes. Do it. It's just get ink splatter all over everything.
Are you working another job at the moment as well as illustrating?
No, I do this full time now, which is kind of cool. I say that, but it's mostly mum then work.
How old's your daughter now, Miles?
Just turned 3. We are getting closer and closer of getting out of the toddlerhood stage.
The older they get, I reckon the better kids are. They're more fun.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The personality coming out of this little kid is hilarious. Like they always say like the more like idiotic and weird they are, that means the more comfortable they are, and I like that sentiment.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Yeah, yours looks amazing.
I think I'm done. I think I'll leave it there because otherwise I'm like covered in paint now.
I'm done soon too. I'm really done.
Oh, it's so good. Da, da, da.
Yay! There we go. Swamp Thing.
Yeah, mighty.
Oh,
That's so cool. That's awesome. Well done.
Swamp Thing. It was fun. It was fun to do.
Yeah, that turned out really good. I'm actually quite impressed I got that done.
That's rad. I like how you've done like the skulls and yeah,
I was thinking of like trying to do
yeah,
like
that's
little,
cool.
I don't know, like, floaty, glowy, butterfly type things like moss, like glowing moss, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great idea. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I'll
you did
see.
that and spoke at the time, but crazy.
You get used to it.
That's
You
cool.
do.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
yeah.
said,
Yeah.
it's an art that you have to learn. Like it really is an art that you have to learn.
I think so. Yeah, I
Mm.
think it's another just a muscle to build when it comes to okay, well, I'm doing this, but I'm trying to connect at the same time. So,
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
cool.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me and thank you for chatting, and I apologize for the lag. I don't know what's going on there. So I'll have to chop and change some stuff, which will be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's
It's like
just,
am I caving if I'm not answering correctly with the questions because
nah, you were 100%, you did it perfectly. It was all me.
fine. It was fine the whole time. Thanks,
Yes.
Lauren. It was
Yes.
lovely hanging out.
No problem. Awesome. And thank you so much. Before when we stop the stream, just hang around for a bit for it to upload whatever you need to upload. And I just want to say a huge thank you. And people love your work. And I just loved having a little, delve into the world that is Dean. So yeah, thank you again. And
Yeah.
everybody else, we'll catch you next time on Sketch Biz. Thank you and bye bye.